All I'm going to say is we were right. 2 episodes ago in this Hyliion series, I mentioned the fact that I thought that this sell-off recently has been a bit of an overcorrection. I felt like there was a lot of hype and that the initial sell-off and all the short-term traders getting out of the stock was calling a major overcorrection and a major oversell-off. Now, one thing I did also go ahead and say was that I thought that the fact that if there was any good news at all, any good, acquisitions, any trades, any good contracts, anything like that, I felt like since it was such a big overcorrection that would send Hyliion stock flying back up. And well, if you have been following Hyliion stock today, well, you would know that I was right. My name's Hyliion, and in today's video, we will be going over some great news that has been released about Hyliion stock. One thing we will be going over is a few acquisitions that have been released and some disclosures that were let go by the SEC. So with all that being said, if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button. We've been seeing insane growth over the last week. In this week alone, we've gone from 600 subscribers to over 800 subscribers. It's just been an absolute roller coaster, and it has been an absolutely amazing ride. So if you do enjoy my content, if you do find it useful, entertaining, or anything else, you could let me know in the comment section below, and you could definitely let me know by subscribing. But with that being said and that out the way, let's go ahead and let's jump straight into the video. So once again, there were some forms that were released by the SEC that just basically talked about some holdings that were in Hyliion stock that weren't released whenever they actually happened because Hyliion stock was still private at the time. But now that they are public, that these holdings are going to be disclosed and they were released. So let's go ahead and let's jump into them and let's see exactly what was let go. Axioma has released that they have a 10.82% holding in Hyliion stock, which is a little over 16 million shares. Now, Axioma is a venture cap that basically focuses on investing in more of healthcare and technology. Now, their main goal is to invest in entrepreneurs and invest in technology and healthcare that are going to help change the world. And they feel like if they invest their money, that they can help change the world and be their own part. So this is a major investment, obviously, for Hyliion, because that is a very substantial amount of money that Hyliion has clearly gone and used to reinvest into the company and has been producing major things. One of those, for example, is something I mentioned in a previous video, is that they have actually gotten out 500 natural gas stations all over the US. Now, once again, that does, serve well as me as an investor, and it's a very relieving feeling because we can see that they're not just sitting on this money. It's no fraudulent thing going on, wink, wink. And it's nothing going on like that. They're simply taking this money that these big investors are starting to put in and using it for good use. Now, that really makes me happy as an investor once again, because I love to see that money going to use. I don't like seeing companies who are just a little bit slow. No, this company is at it. They're getting going, and they are very determined to, just set their mark in the future and really get their vision for the future set intact. One thing that I did take notice, and a lot of my other YouTube friends and a lot of other people who invest in Hyliion were talking about, is that one thing that seems to happen with these stocks is that once a few big investors and a few venture caps start to invest in them, it seems it's almost like a domino effect. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like it always takes that one big one to go ahead and get into them, and then you see a whole bunch of other, ETFs and things start to really take a hold of them. So I will be very curious to see how this does affect Hyliion in the future. What other venture caps, maybe some ETFs, maybe even ARK or something, one of those ETFs like that are going to take on to them. It'll be very interesting to see which ones are actually going to take that step and go for it. Now, another very interesting stake that was released from this forum was a 5.4% holding of Hyliion by FJ Management. Now, this is a very interesting point, and it's kind of like a little bit of conspiracy around it, quote unquote. And it's something that was brought to my attention by a viewer of mine, JJ. If you're watching this, thank you for the support. Basically, what JJ was saying is that there was some type of tie from FJ Management up to Warren Buffett, and that it kind of seemed like he was investing his own money into natural gas, which could then be taken advantage of by Hyliion. So I went and I did my own little research, and I did want to kind of clarify that up and give my take on what exactly is going on. So if we do go ahead and take a look at it, Flying Gas and Pilot J merged to create one of the biggest truck stops in the country. Now, this is actually very interesting because Warren Buffett actually holds a major stake in Pilot Flying J. This is a 38% stake that will be increasing to over 80% in 2023. So what exactly does this mean? Now, if we do take a look back at 2017, we'll remember that Warren Buffett purchased $10 billion worth of Dominion Energy. This means that Warren Buffett owns somewhere around 18% of all natural gas interstate transactions. That's insane. So what exactly, what does that mean for Hyliion? Because it does seem like, Warren Buffett, who is easily one of the most talented and one of the most famous and obviously one of the most, intelligent and best investors of our entire era, is investing in natural gas. It means that he is seeing something in this field and something in this industry. And trust me, a lot of people, if Warren Buffett sees it, that means there's a little bit of digging that needs to be done. Well, considering the fact that Hyliion bases all of their powering off of natural renewable energy, it kind of says something about that they're in a field that one of the best and talented and most famous investors of all time is investing in. Now, that does give hope to me, and it clearly brings hope to a lot of investors, as today we saw Hyliion stock go up over 10%. So that does give a little something. We'll continue to watch out on the news, and we'll continue, hopefully maybe he comes out with his own statement, because this is all a little bit of speculation, and no one really knows for sure if that's exactly what his game plan was with that. But it does seem like it's very apparent that he has some type of ties to the natural gas industry, and that's what he was focusing on. Now, hopefully Hyliion does take advantage of that. They continue to put out these natural gas stations, and they continue to grow with all this new investment money that has been released. I'm hoping that that's all going into getting these Hypertruck ERXs out and continuing to grow production. So once again, we will continue to monitor all these reports. There's a lot of news that spurs out at one time, so it's going to take me a little bit obviously to go through it all, but I will continue to try to post these videos as often as I can. But just a quick recap of today's video, we had two new big disclosures that were released. One of those being that Axioma has a very large 10% holding in Hyliion, and also that FJ Management has a 5.6% share. Now, once again, that FJ Management thing can be tied up to Warren Buffett, and it seems like he is investing in the same energy that Hyliion is taking advantage of. So it will be really interesting to see how that goes. But with all that being said, once again, if you do enjoy these updates, if you absolutely love the content, if you have any feedback for the content, one of you guys actually did mention that the shadows in my background were really distracting. So I'm trying to move this around a little bit and kind of figure it all out. I listen to every single one of your comments. I read it, I put it into perspective, and I take the feedback, I take the criticism. So if there's anything you'd like to see with these videos, maybe if you'd like to see a little bit more or less of something, please let me know down in the comment section below. I'd really love to make this content as most appealing and best for you guys as possible, because you are the reason that I do it. With all that being said though, I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.